All right, what's going on, my peeps? It's your boy Party back in the building, word to the culture. All right, so in this clip, we have the show Undisputed, and you got the fill-in. This is fill-in day. So we got Jason McIntyre, who is one of these talking heads, and I believe he's the creator or founded the website The Lead, who was bought out by USA Today some years back. So he's with Fox Sports now. You got him, you got Greg Jennings, former wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers and Minnesota Vikings, Chris Broussard, and also Rob Parker. Rob Parker, who is probably, I guess, the realest and blunt and most to the point out of any of these guys. I would say almost on Fox Sports in general, as far as these daily shows go during the week. He might be the realest out of all of them. Which is part of the reason why he's been ousted other places before in the past. But right here, they're talking about Team USA releasing their list for the 44 finalists for the upcoming 2020 Olympics in Tokyo. And let's just get into it. We're going to listen to them talk about it, and then I'll give my thoughts on where they're going with this. Now, the debate here is whether or not Zion Williamson and Trae Young, who were left off the list, should have been left off the list or included. Let's get to it.
USA Basketball announced 44 finalists in the running to make the 2020 Tokyo Olympics roster. And while LeBron and Steph are back in the mix, the list had some glaring omissions, most notably Hawks All-Star Trae Young and, shockingly, Pelicans rookie Zion Williamson left off the list entirely.
Now, just notice here, listening to that was Jason McIntyre talking right there, speaking right there. Now, you notice to him, it's more shocking that all the hype around Zion Williamson, who's only played, I don't think he's played 10 games yet this season. I think he's played about 8 games to this point. He's hurt again, an ankle injury. It's more shocking to Jason McIntyre that Zion Williamson was left off of the list as opposed to Trae Young, who's been named as an all-star, to have been left off the list. That just, the media hype around Zion Williamson, who they are looking to make, the next, maybe not the next LeBron James, but I guess the next face of the league. It just goes to show you the media hype there. And Jason McIntyre, who's a fanboy, he's a fanboy. You're going to hear him fanboy out in the rest of this here in a minute. Trae Young, maybe he got snubbed. I don't think it's a snub for Zion. He's only played 8 games. Okay, he's only played 8 games this season, and we're just about halfway through the season. He's only played 8 games. So if we're going off a hype, then yes, put him on the team. But I'm pretty sure the Pelicans don't want him on the team because he's probably going to get hurt, or they're afraid he's going to get hurt. They're investing a lot in this guy going into the future. Okay, they picked him number 1 overall. There's a lot invested in this young man who has not been healthy yet, really all season. He's played 8 games. So for Jason McIntyre to say that, it's basically more shocking that Zion is left off the team over Trae, and maybe they should both be on the team. They're going to name some of the guys that were selected over both as finalists. But again, they're going to have their chance. These are both young, very young guys in the league. In a few years, they'll have their shot. There's no reason to rush them into this. There's just no reason to rush them in there. Even if there's guys that you may deem them better than already, especially in Trae Young's case. I mean, he's already showing that he's going to be a top guard in the league going forward, a top point guard in the league, top shooter in the league going forward. He's already proven that. He's showing that already.
While guys like Kyle Kuzma, Marcus Smart, and Derek White, yes, Derek White, were among the guys invited to camp. Chris, listen, I don't want this to get too heated, but what on earth was going on here? And who was the bigger snub, Trae Young or Zion
Well,
Williamson?
look, those guys you mentioned, Kuzma, Derek White, they've been in the program. So that's what this is about. Also, I would like them to go with younger guys. I think that's what we should do in the future. But historically, that hadn't been the case. In 2004, after their first year, now they had LeBron, Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade on that Olympic team, and they didn't hardly play.
I was going to say Larry Brown wasn't coach. They didn't play.
They didn't
100%.
It didn't
Did
work
not
out.
play.
They finished 5-3 and won the bronze. But my point is, this is what they do with younger players. Now, I agree with you. Both of those guys, Zion and Trae, should have been invited.
100%.
Well, see now, again, I think that depends on the criteria. What are we talking about here? Are we just talking about names? Putting big names in here and guys that were hyping? If so, then yes, 100%. They both got snubbed. Trae Young more so. I would say if you want to go on numbers and percentages, yeah, 100%. Trae Young should be there. But Zion hasn't played. He has not played. If we're just going off potential, and you can go off potential, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But if we're talking about guys that have been playing and they love to use the word deserve a lot when it comes to certain people, all they've done is talk about the last 3 months how Carmelo deserves to have a job in the league, deserve. Well, Zion hasn't earned anything. He doesn't deserve anything. In my opinion, he just doesn't. He doesn't. I don't see him as, one day being the best player in the league either. I just don't. I don't think he's going to stay healthy enough. He needs to, as explosive as he is, and I hope he stays healthy. I really do. But I see that he's going to be a good player. I get that, yeah. Probably be a great player. I don't know if he's going to be the best player, quote unquote, in the world at some point. At any given point over the last, up until recently, you could have said LeBron was the best player in the world, and he probably held that title for about 10 years straight. I'm going to give him, some people think it may have been a little less, some people say a little more. But let's just say for at least a decade, LeBron was the best player in the world. And for quite a while there, for a good portion of that, he was probably the best two-way player as well. Offense, defense, did it on both ends for quite a while. Now, he's not playing, the last few years he hasn't played the most defense as far as man-to-man on the ball, and I guess even help defense really either the last few years, but he's getting older. I'm not going to say he's conserving for the offensive end. Might be, but you get older, your body starts to break down and wear down. I think LeBron's 34, 35, or might be 35 by now. He's been doing this since he was 17 as a pro. Okay? Been in the playoffs most years. And up until last year was in the finals most of those years. A good portion of those years, I would say. Especially the last 5 or so. So he's playing until June, and then he's going to play for, Team USA all these years. So the body breaks down. But getting back to Zion, I just don't think it's a snub that Zion was not selected. Give the kid a chance to get in and get healthy for one. He needs to get healthy because they got a nice young team down there in New Orleans. But they need him healthy because whether you think he's going to be the guy or not as far as the league goes going forward, they need him in New Orleans to make that thing work. And again, they got a nice young team down there. They're going to have to add some more pieces to that. And they'll do that. Okay? They'll keep doing it through the draft because they're going to have another high pick again this season. But I don't think he's been snubbed. Trae Young coming out showing what he can do. That kid is a baller. Trae Young goes. He can go. I knew he was good. He was good in college, but I didn't know he was going to be this good this fast in the pros. I just didn't see that happening. Didn't think he was going to flop or be a bust, but I didn't know he was going to be this good this fast. I don't think anybody knew that.
As far as who got the bigger snub, without question, it's Trae Young. And I like Zion like everybody else. Zion's played 8 NBA games and got hurt. Okay, so we have not, and I'm not trying to cast dispersions or anything on him.
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith Jr. here just hit the nail right on the head. Cast aspersions. Oh my God, that has to be Stephen A.'s favorite phrase. I'm not casting aspersions, but I digress. Chris Broussard hit the nail right on the head. It's Trae Young. If either of them is the bigger snub or a snub at all, it's Trae Young. Zion, like he just said, Zion's played 8 games.
We have not seen him play like 3 or 4 months of straight basketball at a high level. I'm sure the Pelicans probably called Team USA
and said, please don't pick our guy.
Invite him.
I agree.
You know, that's the last thing they want. But Trae Young, 30 points a game, 9 dimes a game. And the dude, everybody wants to poop, oh, they're not winning, this empty numbers. His PER, 11th best in the league. 11th best in the league. This dude is balling. Trae Young, undoubtedly the biggest snub.
I'm going to disagree. First of all, I'm upset that Zion and Trae Young were not invited. Couple guys that were actually invited. I know they were in the program or whatever.
That's the thing. That's all.
Harrison Barnes. Kyle Lowry.
Everybody's
like
not going to make the team just because you get invited.
Mason Plumlee. Joe Harris.
They're in
Chris,
the program,
this is an embarrassment for USA basketball.
Obviously, Tre's a shooter.
I understand.
Well, you're going too far.
This is also, you have gone on FS1 and said Zion could be the next face of the NBA after LeBron James.
I'm not even sure if Chris Broussard actually believes that Zion Williamson is going to be the next face of the league after LeBron. He probably said it. I don't doubt it. These guys say a lot of things. They come on here on TV. They go on TV and radio and say a bunch of things. They just throw things at the wall to see if they stick. I don't think he's going to be the next face of the league. I think he can be a really good player. But the face of the league, I don't see that in his future. And I mean, who knows? Does he even want that? Not everybody wants to be Diva Bron. All right. Everybody does not want to be that guy. He may not. I have no idea. But I don't think he's going to be the next face of the league. I just don't.
Everybody agrees. Zion Williamson
I didn't go that far.
Is probably the future of the NBA. You need him at least on this team. Even if he is just playing a couple minutes, you need him out there. He is a major draw for Team USA.
You know what, Jason?
I understand the Pelicans.
You're going too far.
His time is coming, though. His time is coming. Considering the way that Zion's professional career started, I'm with Chris. If I'm New Orleans,
if I'm New Orleans, if you're Team USA and you're putting on a
Team
product
USA doesn't want him getting hurt either, because that hurts the NBA.
I just don't think that it's the end of the world as the first year, and he's played a handful of games that he has to be on the team, or there's no face of the NBA. You already got all the stars.
Okay, fine, I get that. You're anti-Zion.
No,
but
not anti.
Anti-Zion on the team. Are you anti-Trae Young, who has been incredible, is an all-star, and is going to kill it in the international
for me, Trae Young is the one that should have been invited.
Yeah.
And that's where I kind of have an issue with it. It's not that these guys are going to make the team. It's just being invited. That Trae Young not to be invited to be as productive, you just mentioned, as he's been all year, even last year, and you look at him not even being considered, that to me is the biggest snub.
So why do you think that happened? What
I'm not sure why it happened or how it happened. I don't know how they configure these teams, and obviously a lot of the guys who have already played and been in the system, as Chris has alluded to, but you just don't there's certain guys you can kind of overlook, and Zion, in my opinion, is one that you say, you know what, we can kind of overlook him because he hadn't played, there isn't enough sample size.
Overlook Zion.
Yes, you do.
Thank you, Greg Jennings and Rob Parker. Jason McIntyre, shut the hell up. I know he's playing devil's advocate. I guess he's playing devil's advocate, but it's almost like he doesn't get why they're saying, and they're not anti-Zion on the team. They're basically saying that he needs to be healthy. That's what I've been saying. Let him get healthy. He doesn't need to play. He's only played 8 games for 1. So, no, it's not really a snub that he's not out there. Trae Young, yes, he should probably be out there. But he's not. He's going to move forward. And I'm sure Trae Young is probably not worried about it. He's going to move forward. He's going to have his opportunities. And so is Zion. Okay? They're both going to have their opportunity the next time around. Damn near guaranteed, okay? Damn near guaranteed. But this whole face of the league thing, I just don't see Zion as being the face of the league. I don't see it. It could happen. When it happens, I'll say I'm wrong, but I just don't see it. Okay? I'm not sure if that young player is even in the league yet that's going to take over being face of the league from LeBron. I'm not even sure if that player even is in the NBA yet. I don't think anybody's completely sure. They want it to be Zion, obviously, with all this hype, but I don't see it. Okay? I don't see him being the face of the league, the next face of the league. You know, in the sense of a LeBron or a Michael, like that. Okay, I don't see that. But he can very well still be a very great player. You don't have to be the face of the league to be considered a great player. Okay? There's a ton of great players who were never even close to being face of the league, but they were close to being at the top of the league at one point or another in their careers. Not necessarily the face of the league. Okay? But yeah, Greg Jennings, he's getting to the point as well. Trae Young should probably be out there. Okay, if you want to say that, that's fine. But Zion, Jason McIntyre, he's just, he's pushing forward the media hype. That's what he's doing. He's just pushing the media hype. I get it. I get what he's doing. Okay, I get what he's doing. But it's a little. Even Chris Broussard is telling me, you're going a little too far. You're going a little too far. I know he wants to tell me, man, shut the hell up and relax, okay? Just calm down. You're getting way too hyped up, all right? Over Zion Williamson, okay? Maybe Jason McIntyre is going to be Zion's, what's the guy? What's the fat white dude with LeBron? I can't think of his name right now. But maybe that's going to be Jason McIntyre's role to Zion Williamson. Yes, it's Brian Windhorst. Brian Windhorst that's the guy. That's the dude I'm thinking of with LeBron. He's followed LeBron from Cleveland or Akron to Cleveland to Miami, back to Cleveland, out to LA. That's the guy I'm thinking of. And there's others, but he's the main one because he's been covering LeBron since he was in high school, I believe. Brian Windhorst. Yeah, that dude. Yeah. I give it to him, man. He found a bandwagon to latch onto and made a career out of it. I give it to him. He found a bandwagon, latched onto it. He's made a nice career out of it. I give it to you, Brian Windhorst.
You do, because of what he has not done in this league, and he hasn't been on the floor. But Trae Young, that is hard to overlook.
I agree.
That is really hard to overlook because night in and night out, we're seeing a Trae Young highlight. He's pulling up from the logo, and he's hitting nothing but bottom of the net every single time. You look at the guards, and I get it. There's a lot of good guards. Steph Curry, again, guys that are hurt that aren't going to even play.
Well, and also, LeBron is probably going to go to the Western Conference Finals, big playoff run. Steph Curry went to the finals 5 years in a row, Rob Parker. Those guys are not going to want to play again in the Olympics. You're going to want Trae Young and Zion Williamson out there.
But what if those big veterans are turning down?
Yeah, they don't need that.
So go with the young guys. His game is also built for international play.
It really is.
The three-point shot, the wide open lane, and this is another guy that could take the international stage by storm, which is obviously good for the NBA. So
but also, I think there could be, and I'm with you on the snub to Trae Young, if you're looking at these two players. But maybe they look at it and they say, well, we want to give Steph Curry another opportunity, like these guys, and let them say that they don't want to play before we just assume anything. And Trae Young and Zion are so young that it's not this time. 4 years from now, their careers are more established. They're more of the face. Steph Curry's on the way down. You know what I mean? And these other guys, and it might just
is in his third year in the league. He hasn't accomplished.
But that doesn't mean that he's automatically on the team. It's 40-some guys.
Okay, so he's in the pool. It's not like they cap it.
But he's
been
there for 3 years. Guys. He's put up some numbers last year. All I'm saying is they could be looking at it as they're the next wave of guys. If I'm Trae Young, I would be disappointed. I agree with you that he should be on the list, but I could see where their thinking is. This is an older team. We got guys already, and these guys are the next wave of Olympians.
So you're not even inviting them. You're like, we don't need to extend an invite to an All-Star starter while Derek White of the Spurs, who won't sniff an All-Star game ever.
Maybe they ran out of paper.
Who are you tuning into in the Olympics in Tokyo? Okay? Derek White, Mason Plumlee, Kyle Kuzma? Or if you see Trae Young and Zion Williamson on that, you're turning on your TV. It's appointment viewing. These guys are legit NBA stars already from a must-see perspective.
Look. I like Zion.
I think you're right.
Right. You're going way overboard with this.
Oh, relax, Chris. I get what you're saying, but that's what he's paid to do. He's paid to go overboard, okay? He's paid to go overboard. He's probably never stepped on the basketball court a day in his life, Jason McIntyre. I don't know that, but he probably hasn't, okay? He's another analytics guy who believes solely in analytics, and that's what he goes off of. He probably don't even watch half these games that he's supposed to be covering and talking about and writing about. He probably don't watch half of them, okay? But that's what he's supposed to do. He's paid to get on here, just like all of you are, paid to get on here and say something. He has to say something, obviously. It's like Chris Broussard, was 99% sure that LeBron was going to LA. Okay. He had sources and all these other things when he didn't really have. Maybe he did have sources and maybe they were wrong, but he was not correct. Not LeBron. I'm sorry, Kawhi. Not LeBron, Kawhi. He was 99 or 90% sure, whatever it was, 99% sure that Kawhi was going to join LeBron when, I'll be honest, I tell people all the time, these big stars, unless they're one of the Banana Bowl boys, one of the close friends of LeBron, these big stars do not want to play with LeBron. They don't. Because it always becomes, always going to be about LeBron. It always becomes about LeBron, okay? Call me a LeBron hater, call it what you want. But he's a diva, and you know he's a diva. It's always going to be about him. Okay, another star does not want to take the back seat to him, especially in Kawhi's case, when Kawhi is better than LeBron. He's been better than him overall for at least the last 3 to 4 years, at the least. Hell, at the end of his San Antonio stint, towards then he was better than LeBron. Okay, he got hurt, but he was better than LeBron then. He's been better than LeBron for a few years now. Going on 4 or 5 years, he's been the better player than LeBron. All this discussion about who's the best player in the world, LeBron, KD, Kawhi, it's really been out of KD and Kawhi when they're both healthy as well. It's really been out of those two for the last few years. It just has been. And right now, it's Kawhi. He's the best player in the world. He's the best two-way guy in the world. Best player in the world. He's better than LeBron. Got to realize he's started his career, 7, 8 years after LeBron got into the league? He's quite a few years younger than LeBron, okay? LeBron's out of his prime. He's still good. Still a top 5, top 3 player, if you want to say that. LeBron is, but he's not the best player in the world anymore. He's just not. Getting back to Zion, to the Zion and Trae Young being snubbed conversation, Jason McIntyre, no, it's not a snub, okay? It's just not. It's not a snub. But again, Chris Broussard, he also understands that you got to get on here and say something, okay? That's how they stretch these conversations out to 19, 20 minutes or longer on some of these subjects when they're really not that deep of subjects. They're really not. Zion has not played. Zion Williamson has not played enough to really be considered for a lot of things. Now, the bigger question will be, is Zion going to win Rookie of the Year? How many games is he going to play? Okay? You'll really see what they have planned for the future for Zion if he wins Rookie of the Year and barely plays this year. Okay? Maybe he averages 25 to 30 points a game in a limited amount of action. But, where's the cutoff? Where do we cut that off at? He needs to play. He needs to get healthy for one. So Team USA should be the farthest thing from his mind, or the Pelicans' mind, especially the Pelicans. They should not want him to go play in the Olympics. They're trying to build a winning team here, supposedly, right? Come on.
As I said, we haven't seen him play 3 months straight of high-level basketball. That's an issue. before we crown him, can we get him to play half a season without getting hurt? I mean, I'm just saying.
I just don't. You're inviting him to a camp that's going to be 2 weeks, and the
I don't
Olympics
want him at the camp because he might get injured. I want him playing 82 games.
And that's why Zion, to me, I don't have an issue whatsoever with him not even being considered on the list because he hasn't been there for his own team. So let alone let's invite him.
And we're going to add him to put on extra work?
But Trae Young.
Well, I mean, we don't want him eating in New Orleans. I mean,
he's not even playing, like he's still on a minutes restriction, and he got hurt.
But Trae Young, what makes him so intriguing is the fact that you are going to get eyes to watch Trae Young play. Anytime he steps on the court, he's the human highlight reel. He's going to shoot from the doors opening in the gym. You want guys like that on the floor at all times, and he provides you that. I don't see how you overlook. Shoot, even Devin Booker getting snubbed for the All-Star team. He's on this list, which he deserves clearly to be on this list. But then you mentioned guys like Derek White. I mean, Marcus Smart. You don't need defensive sound, tough guys.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
This team is poorly constructed.
No, Greg Jennings. You do need a couple defensively sound, I guess, if you want to call them tough guys. Okay? You still got to be able to stop someone. Okay? And another reason for that, you still need veterans on the team. It sounds like Jason McIntyre just wants it to almost be all of the young up-and-coming guys. But we've seen that in the past for Team USA, and it hasn't worked. Okay? And they have not won gold. The NBA and Team USA, they do not want to be embarrassed again like we have been over how many times in the last 20 years by not winning gold. Here's the thing. The world has caught up to the NBA, to the United States, as far as basketball goes. Okay, you don't just want a team full of young guys that, first and second years in the league. Okay, even if they're just supposed up-and-coming stars, you still need veterans. You still need some veteran leadership, some guys that have played international ball before, but have also played in championships before in the NBA at the highest level. And you don't just want a team of young guys running around, just playing ISO AAU ball. Now, I know that's a lot of what the NBA has become, especially in the LeBron era. And, I mean, I'm not saying anything's wrong with that. But you still want guys to come in that can be a part of a team and play like a team. And you still do need some guys that are going to play some defense, okay? And all these young guys who have never played under the international rules, okay, you got guys on the team like Steph and LeBron. And a lot of these veteran guys probably aren't going to go anyway. As they've stated here already, they're probably not going to go anyway. So there may still be an opportunity for other guys to be added later on, get involved, whatever the case may be. But no, you do need a couple of defensive stoppers to play on this team. Okay, you're not just going to have a team of 12 guys that shoot from 37 feet. You're just not going to have just that. Because if you have just that, these international teams, you're going to get blown out. You're going to lose, okay? Team USA should never be getting a bronze medal or even less than that. No medal at all. Okay, it should be gold all the time, although I guess not really because, like I just stated, the world has caught up and has been caught up for quite a while. That's why you see all these European players, these international players coming to the league now and making a name for themselves in the league. You see that a lot. We've been seeing that for well over 20 years now, okay? Well over 20 years. Even longer than that.
Look, I'll give you that.
Chris,
only explanation can be that they're in the USA, Team USA system.
So, Chris, think a varsity basketball team has a postseason tournament. They're going to bring up maybe a couple of the great freshmen who have promise, who are going to be something in a few years to be along for the ride, experience what life is like at the Olympics, be in the village, the touring and all that stuff. Get a sense of being part of the team. You telling me Trae Young and Zion, you wouldn't bring them along for the ride over some of these end-of-the-bench guys, even if Zion's playing 5-10 minutes?
It's not necessary. They're gonna wax whoever we play anyway.
And they'll have their moment as well.
Right.
Their
They're
moment
gonna
will
get
come.
their chance. LeBron and as I said, Melo, D-Wade,
Go back and look at that.
Time.
They did.
2008, 2012, they got their opportunities.
Yeah, and another thing. So they mentioned the 2004 team with Carmelo, that Carmelo and LeBron were a part of, and Larry Brown was the coach for that team for Team USA. And they didn't, like, the younger guys on that team did not play a lot. They were on the team, but they didn't play a lot. And I tie that into, well, I'm going to say this first. Larry Brown did not play young players. He just, that was his style, especially even back then, even in the early 2000s. He didn't play young players a lot. So when you go back and you look at the 2003 draft with LeBron, Carmelo, D-Wade, Chris Bosh, those guys, Darko Milicic, who the Pistons took when Larry Brown was the head coach, we love revisionist history, and we like to go back and say, well, what if they would have taken Carmelo? Carmelo would not have played hardly at all his rookie season, and that would have been an issue. They probably would have traded him the next season if Larry Brown was still going to be there. You know, he did not play young players like that. He didn't care who it was. Maybe if it was LeBron, management could have forced him into playing him, but Melo probably would not have played a lot. Now, he could have played on that team, no doubt. Defensively, no. But offensively, he definitely could have played on that Pistons team. But they had enough team defense to where he probably could have just kind of blended in and played enough defense with the team defense to get by and still put up 22 a game, if not more, with those Pistons. But I just say that because, we're talking Jason McIntyre, they're talking about having all these young guys there. We've seen it in the past, and it hasn't actually worked out completely. You know what I mean? Just you got to have some veterans there, even if it's not the top of the line veterans, because some of those guys are going to turn it down. Steph may not go; he's going to be coming off an injury. LeBron, he may not go either. They've both, a lot of these older guys that are up there now in the NBA, the top stars, they've done their Olympics. These guys are trying to win championships now. And when you're playing year round, because if you do the Olympics and you go deep in the playoffs, you're basically playing year round. You have maybe a month or so off before training camp starts back up for the NBA. So, it just gets to be a little much. This is how guys get run down. Okay, this is how guys, get their careers shortened. For you're playing too much. And once you hit 30, 31, you're starting on the back end, especially if you're like LeBron and you started playing at 17, 18 years old in the NBA. By 30, you've been in the league 12 years. Okay, by 31, 32, you're on the back end. You're on the back nine, as they say. At that point, okay, you're not getting any better. You may still be very good, but you are declining, even if it's slowly. Hell, look at Tom Brady. He wants to play till he's 45. He's already declining. Just look at his numbers the last few years. Okay, watch him. Watch how he throws the ball. Just watch him. You have to watch. Tom Brady's declining. Patriots fans don't want to hear that, but he's declining. You can see that he's declining, okay? It's obvious. You don't get better once you reach past 30. And in professional sports, 35 is old. 40 is old, okay? Tom Brady's a saber-tooth at this point. All right, he's ancient. He's still a great quarterback. But there are younger quarterbacks that are passing him, that people are going to take over him. Now, I'm getting off the point here, but again, that's pretty much it for this one. Like I said, Zion Williamson, I don't think he was snubbed. He hasn't played enough yet. If you want to say Trae Young was snubbed, say he was snubbed. That's it. I'm gonna get at y'all. It's your boy Party. Word to the culture. I'm going holla.